Welcome in the Stiffs. Thank you very much to our sponsors for Series 2, Budgeon Motors. Been established for 40 years, best car dealership in Shropshire.
Debatable.
Well, we've all had cars from there. Gav, you been to Budgeon?
Yeah, a few times now.
Dave, too, big time. He only wants Teslas, doesn't he?
But to be fair though, they do Teslas, do any car. You want a car, they get you a car.
I just spoke tonight. They are fast, to be fair.
Dave's
There we are. Even Dave's backed them. You know they're good when Dave's on side with them.
I've been offered 20%.
Have we sorted out the discount? Come down to Budgeon, mentioning the Stiffs, and what we'll have to sort out. What's that discount?
Yeah, about 90%.
Yeah, we'll have
Just
to
don't
sort
tell
that.
the MD.
That'll have to be sorted out at the showroom.
Yeah, to be confirmed, that one.
Yeah. Are you up for it?
I'm right up for it. I went all like a proper connoisseur, didn't I? Thinking I knew what I was talking about.
Tell us about how you think Wales have got on so far.
For me, I think the England beating Iran 6-2 is the one that's thrown everyone.
Well, they're two players you can't drop. Deeper England go in the tournament and the better teams they play, they'll play two holding midfielders. Thought we'd finish on Wales. I was trying to get away from that as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Gav,
Yes.
as an international, England C.
When you look at Bellingham, I think we said, didn't we, be his coming out party. I thought he was superb. Can only be they've got a set plan.
I really think they should have the mentality. If you score 3, we'll score 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Because
You're like, I think he's unplayable. I thought Harry Maguire was excellent. I know
both games he's done really well.
I'm
Go
your
in, yeah.
Ramsey. You don't type in Aaron Ramsey into Twitter. If I played well for Shrewsbury and I'd buy the paper on Monday to see what mark I got.
Yeah.
If I was Gareth Bale, I'd just say, I sent it on. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah,
Mum,
Don't tell anyone.
Tell anybody.
Why are you ringing the sun?
Well, it's going to be a nightmare with childcare. That is. Listen to this for a back four, absolutely average. So basically, England should smash Wales tonight.
How did you
not
play on the
now.
day, Dave?
That makes me feel guilty about wearing my Iran scarf.
That's about it. That's all I've got.
Go on, England.
Yes, come on, England.
Come on, Wales.
Brilliant. Absolutely
just
love
the
that. I love that.
Welcome everybody to another episode of In the Stiffs, sponsored by Budgeon, best car dealership in Shropshire. Lads, we're going to do a World Cup preview this week. Are you up for it?
I'm right up for it.
Yeah,
we're tired.
World Cup fever.
Everybody's a bit tired. We went out last night, didn't we? Everybody's a little bit tired. We had a couple of baby Guinnesses, didn't we? Some food.
They were
A couple of bottles of red.
A couple of bottles of Argentinian red, Gav. You saw that.
Malbec, little
Me and
Argentinian.
Sam said, well, the house wine.
I went all like a proper connoisseur, didn't I? Thinking I knew what I was talking about. Didn't have a clue. I was like,
The
yeah, have you got the Argentinian Malbec? And they were like, no, mate. No.
He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
How much is that?
How much is that, mate? How much is that? He's already got it.
I said, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. We went to my local, and obviously Holly doesn't really like their local. And Holly said to them, what wine have you got? And they went, white and red. And I was like, no, obviously. Like, what?
White and red.
You got?
I'll have a pint of each, please.
Yeah, I'll have one of them. But we had a nice night, didn't we?
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, it was nice.
Did a bit of planning, didn't we? Talk about some ideas for the live show.
Well, I mean, you say that. Not really. Yeah, we threw a few ideas about. We didn't really get going, did it? Let's be honest. Them baby Guinnesses went straight to my head.
Right. Anyway, let's talk about the World Cup. Dave, we're going to start with you. Tell us about how you think Wales have got on so far.
That look, mate. I didn't like that look, to be honest.
Something stuck in my throat. It was a shame. I just went, when I was at school and I hadn't seen the result, I just went, what was the Wales score? So I lost 2-0 to Iran. I'm like, get in there.
I tell you what, some team them Iran, like I know England won 6-2, so it was easy to write them off. But when you look at how they played as well, I was lucky enough to have it on in the office. It was like
Against England?
no Iran when they played against
They let
Wales.
the handbrake off against Wales.
They were
didn't
excellent. Yeah, they were really good.
Wales
It's
got it
hard-
wrong.
it's-
Wales got it wrong as well.
It's hard to measure
But
when they're playing against Wales, though, isn't it?
They are 20th in the world.
Mate, I'm trying to be all like help you out, Dave, be all diplomatic.
So as we're recording, this is a Sunday. So the Wales-Iran game was on. So the Wales game was on Friday, the second game. We're recording this on Sunday. And I was really happy with the first game against USA because they were poor first half Wales. And I thought USA could run away with it. And then subsequently looking how USA played against England, they're a good side. But I just think going into that Iran game, there was just too much emphasis on we need to beat them and beat them well, Iran. Forgetting they're like one place below us in the world rankings. They are a good team. And I think we were a little bit too gung-ho with how it all went. Very isolated in midfield. Ethan Ampadu was on his own at times. We counter-attack for fun. And unfortunately, we just didn't stay in the game at the end, still trying to push to try and win it, where a draw at least gives you a chance coming into that last game, whereas now it's a massive uphill struggle. But Wales did well to qualify, to get to the World Cup. It's an amazing achievement. You have to take all that into account and sometimes understand that even if we don't get out of the group, it's still a massive success of Wales. But there is no doubt Rob Page will be so disappointed with the way they performed in these opening 2 games, because they're miles better than that.
For me, I think the England beating Iran 6-2 is the one that's thrown everyone. I actually think that Iran are a good side. I think that England have played exceptionally well. Obviously, that result for me holds it up there, because when you start looking at the performances of USA against England and Iran against Wales, actually I think it's the 6-2 that probably is the one that sent us all for a bit of a googly.
So Wales need to beat England 4-0 to qualify.
No, they need to beat England and the other game to be a draw.
All right.
Then Wales will go through. But say if they conceded 2 late goals against Iran, and Wayne Hennessy's having a really good game, then a sort of a moment of madness. It's inches, and that's what it is in football at times. It sort of just nearly gets there, and there was no intent to hurt the guy, but it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Sort of when it happens.
The coming together wasn't great, was it? But
no, and the way they show it. So it was a red card, and obviously then that threw Wales massively. They just brought Joe Allen on. Then all of a sudden down to 10 men, it just means they're isolated again. Because I thought Joe Allen, if he was fit, I feel like he should have started that game alongside Ethan Ampadu. Wales have to play 2 holding midfielders. They've got away with it a few times, in particular the playoff games where they played Ukraine and Austria to qualify for the World Cup. They played Joe Allen in there on his own. And both games they got outplayed, really. But moments of magic from Bale in both of them got them the win.
What's the thinking then, Dave? Obviously, because
he's trying to get his best players on the pitch.
Right.
I think he's trying to get all his best players on the pitch.
And his best 2 players he sees are Bale and Ramsey.
Well, they're 2 players he can't drop for whatever reason. He can't drop them.
You don't think he could?
He won't. No, I don't think he would.
I don't think you can. I think again,
I think you can still build a team around them, but you have to have international football. When you're coming up against top nations, a country like Wales has to play 2 holding midfielders. You have to protect that counter attack, because teams will devastate on the counter attack, aren't they? At that level. And say they were so isolated. Poor Ethan Ampadu was just so much space even around him. And the 2 other midfielders, Harry Wilson, who is naturally a winger or a 10, Aaron Ramsey, who's this free spirit. He's not, I wouldn't say he's 100% fit, and he's kind of struggling for a little bit of form. You can see in those 2 games. But they're all trying to make things happen going forward, which is great. And that's why you want them on the pitch. But say you're just left with...
They don't have that luxury, Wales, do they? With the respect to them as well, I think Bale and Ramsey, I think if they've got 2 players, like a nation like that have to play them.
And I think when England
have more luxury,
they have got the luxury. But I guarantee, I strongly think that the deeper England go in the tournament and the better teams they play, they'll play 2 holding midfielders just to that protection. I think they'll go 3-4-3. And they'll play two midfielders to sit in front of the back 4, but sit in the front of the back 3. But Wales have to do that. They have to.
I like England being a 3. We've had this discussion, but I like England being a 3.
And play Trent on the right.
He's not been great, has he, the little lad?
I'd have brought.
He's unreal. I'm only joking.
Let's not start on trips again.
Little annoying prick.
He's under the Koshwadi trip, yeah?
Was he?
We need to get him on.
I don't like him even more now.
He's got a
Rivals. We're not in that breath yet, are we?
No, I don't think they'll be calling us their rivals, will they?
No, for me, I'd probably, I know it's balanced, especially being left-footed. I'd always think that, but I like Trippier on the left with Trent on the right. That's how I would have gone.
Yeah, I think if just going on to England, I would have brought in that USA game. I'd have brought Trent on right wing. I think because they had so many players coming into the middle of the pitch, and I think just stick Trent out wide right and get crosses in the box.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
No, sorry. I thought we finished on Wales. I was trying to get away from that as quickly as possible.
So Wales are going to go out probably.
You never know. You said at the start of the tournament that it doesn't matter how good England are compared to Wales, that'll always be a horrible game. I don't share that really at the moment. I think England is so strong, but never say never. They've just got to give the performance. Rob Page has to be tactical masterclass, and every single player has to be like 8, 9, 10 out of 10. And England needs to struggle.
We'll come on to that preview.
It's got to be an extraordinary situation in it for them to get through.
Yeah.
Gav?
Yes.
As an international, England C,
yes.
Give us your assessment on England so far.
Obviously, the first game, just brilliant. Yeah. Loads of fluency. I think when you look at Bellingham, I think we said, didn't we, be his coming out party. I thought he was superb. Energy, athleticism. I think for as good as we were, and again, not to knock USA, but as good as we were against Iran, you could see that there was definitely a lack of energy. All the same players on the pitch. So, it's easy to criticise Gareth Southgate, but it's all hindsight, isn't it? When a team have just gone and scored 6 goals, run riot, been rampant, probably at that point been arguably the team of the tournament after one game, why wouldn't you do that?
Southgate obviously got a bit of criticism, but he always does, doesn't he? Because he's pragmatic, isn't he? And
we're English.
He's cautious in how he sets the team up. But you could say, well, he's done everything right. With 2 games, we're going to qualify, aren't we? He's done enough. And, you think, he's brought on Henderson. Why hasn't he brought Foden on? But he just needed a draw, he might argue. I'd like to see us go for it a little bit there, playing USA.
I think he's consciously, I'll make you right there, I think you're onto something. I think he's consciously thought that coming away from that with a point, I think there's a plan. It's tournament football, and I think he's got a plan moving forward. And I hope that it smacks of a little bit of arrogance going into the Wales game, which I hope doesn't blow us up. But you can't understand when you talk about Fodens and the Trents and why they weren't involved, and even why they're not coming onto the pitch. For me, it can only mean that they've got a set plan that they've wanted to stick to.
You just think it's 0-0. You're looking around, you've got Phil Foden on the bench, you've got Trent on the bench, 0-0 against USA. There's none of that USA team's getting in the England squad. Why didn't you just go win the game?
I don't think you can reason it. I honestly, when I've tried to think and dissect it myself, I think it's only because they've got a set plan of what they want to do.
I think USA took them by surprise as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they realised how good they were.
Yeah,
athletically, good in the transition, the counter-attacking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when they tried to press them, they were actually good on the ball as well, USA.
When the ball turned over, I was surprised. I thought USA were immense at that.
Yeah.
What do you think then, Dave? Because you played at national football. When I watch it, I was watching Grealish come on and had a little bit of a go, but I watched Saka and Sterling. The amount of times they get one-on-one situations, but they don't take the defenders on. I was talking to you about it last night. The wingers, and I had Hugo watching Man City and Grealish. I was like, watch Grealish, and he did the same. He was playing for Man City at the time, and I think it's obviously the way that they play a bit. Saka gets the ball and he's one-on-one. And yet he comes back inside and passes it, and then it ends up being then it went to John Stones, and John Stones and Maguire did 4 passes between each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, why on earth? As a winger, if you get the opportunity for one-on-one, that's it. That's when you have a go, don't you? You're desperate for those situations.
The lad from Fulham, the left back for USA, he had Saka on toast, and that's there again. When you look at it and you think, okay, well, he's athletic. He wants to get into a foot race. He wants to do all the things that Saka wants to do, and he'll probably match him because again, it's the World Cup, so he's at the top of his game. That's when you do wonder, and you go, well, why wouldn't you put a Grealish on him who's going to roll in, playing in around the 10? Confuse him, make him go into areas he doesn't want to go. Then you've got your Trents or your Trippiers who might be able to sort of take advantage of that space. That, again, I keep coming back. I can't understand myself. Obviously, Southgate knows what he's doing. But for me, it can only be they've got a set plan. Can only be that. Because someone, and what he's done previously as well, he would have done those things. I think in previous games, previous tournaments, he has seen it and gone, right, we'll play to the team that we're playing against. We will look at individuals. So Saka will come out. I think there was a game, wasn't there, where he swapped the 2 wingers in the last tournament. So, I keep coming back to it. I just think that the staff have got a set plan. This is what they want to do. I think you were right, Sam. I think they're happy to take that point and to go, we'll beat Wales.
But he's obviously not saying to Saka, when you get one-on-one, don't take him on. No. You can't
I think with that, and I spoke to you about it last night, is that England will come against teams who will play a low block, especially when they're sort of in the group stage and things like that. So the opposition will play deep. And when a team does that, you have to have wingers. You have to have players who can go past somebody and take a player out of the game. Because if they don't, then the opposition will always have numbers in and around the box. So when it does go out to a Saka and USA are back in the shape, he needs to get past his man. Absolutely. And then all of a sudden that'll drag someone else out to him, and then there might be a pass. Yeah. If you just keep going back out all the time, passing along, it's easy to... We've done attack versus defence in training so many times, and how hard it is to score when there's a block of 8 or 9 behind the ball and you have to go past somebody to make things happen.
You need a bit of magic, don't you? Something happen.
I'm in no position at all to question Gareth Southgate because of what he's done. But you look at the success in the Euros, and it was a very defensive tournament for England, staying in games, looking for set pieces, stuff like that. And I just think with the players they've got, the quality they've got, they should be blowing teams away. I really think they should have the mentality. If you score 3, we'll score 4.
Yes, I agree.
Because they got that much quality going forward. To stay in the games and hope Harry Maguire scores a header. I think that they're leaving games to chance a little bit more. I think they could really take teams away. And the one thing I don't think they have got in the setup is the front 3. He hasn't got anyone who stretches them. So they're all players who come towards the ball. Yeah. So they need someone to stretch them. So then those players like Grealish, Saka, Foden, the ones who like to operate in those pockets, have got a bit more space. Kane as well to operate. Yeah. But they need one player, whether it's Rashford or Wilson, or they need somebody who's on the shoulder stretching them with the pace. So they're worried about that. So they're dropping a few yards deeper. Yeah. And then you've got the space to
and that's why your Fodens and your Grealishes aren't starting, because Harry Kane's playing that false 9 where they almost end up as a diamond, don't they? Because he's playing in them areas.
You need wingers who are going to go there, don't you?
And that's what you think Saka and Sterling would do, because like you rightly say, you've got to have a winger who's going to take someone on the outside, but that's why fullbacks nowadays are like Trent, because they end up in a wing-back position, because you will play a Foden or a Grealish, you'll roll inside, he'll then vacate that space, hopefully dislodge the fullback for Trent's to take advantage of that space. So like you say, both work, and I think England have got both sort of weapons in their arsenal by saying, right, we'll have a Saka, we'll have a Sterling who'll take someone on the outside, which they're not doing, but we'll also have someone who'll roll in to try and dislodge the fullbacks. And
I just don't feel Saka and Sterling, especially Sterling, he's not one who's going to play on the shoulder and running behind a little bit.
Surely Saka's that though, isn't he?
He is, but when you play inverted wingers and he's playing on the right hand side, it's not very often you see him like getting in behind the fullback.
It's like you watch Vinicius Junior and you watch Mbappe. I mean, obviously they're like, I think they're probably better than
who'd win in a race out of them, you and Mbappe, Sam?
Now, I think Kylian might nick it.
You back yourself in the day, though.
15 years ago, 100%, I'd beat him. 100%, not even close,
worth bringing up.
Question. But Mbappe, like, he gets it, he stands him up and he runs, and it just transforms the game. England are going pass, and the centre halves are on the ball. Like Stones having a million touches, Maguire's having a million touches, and you're like, what we doing here? Then suddenly Saka gets the ball one-on-one. You're like, go on then. You've worked this position, and he comes back along, and you're just thinking. Then Harry Kane drops in. Then they're trying to thread the ball through the eye of a needle and that, and it's just like. So, and someone a bit of magic. Saka, do a step over, go on the outside, just go.
This is why, for me,
I'll show me it. I'll get some more video clips. I'll send them.
Yeah.
The game meadow.
Do some analysis.
Step over, get down on the outside.
Step over. I've never seen it. I just see you go. Stick it in the space.
Get your arms out.
Yeah.
Get your arms out. Don't step over. Get through the mud. Get your arms out. Run
I
along
used
with
to
the
say to
full back
Sam
in the
about the
headlock.
claw, mate, get your claw out, and he used to get that hand and sort of put his fingers in their mouth and pull them back. Pull them back
Do
past
that.
it.
Saka, get in touch if you want some tips anyway. I'm playing on the wing, mate.
But it's another reason again when it was Stones to Maguire to Stones, and playing across that back line, play arounds and switch arounds, and it just kept going back and forth. And again, that's why I think it should have been the Fodens of this world, where they can play through lines and be brave and courageous, and then get those fullbacks higher, playing in a wing position again. And you look at Declan Rice, he does the false fullback for West Ham nearly 2 minutes in every game, and he doesn't do it for England. And you just think, if you're going to dislodge people all over the pitch, you've got to be playing false fullbacks. You've got to have people rolling in. You've got to have your fullbacks higher. And like you said, I thought we were quite rigid, because I did think it was like, let's get it to Saka. Go on, Saka, get on the outside of him. And the lad from Fulham, I forget his name. Robinson. Yeah. Obviously very athletic, brilliant, brilliant on that side of the game. And he just had him on toast, and he was like going, I hope you play Saka. What I think he would have been thinking is, I don't fancy Foden rolling into them little pot, and I've got to go chasing him, or I'm trying to pass him on and trying to stick with Trippier running on the outside. I think that's what we needed to do a little bit more.
I'd just like to see a bit of pace in the team. I think it just transfer, like Mbappe and Vinicius Junior. They're amazing to watch because they just got the threat, like Dave says, the threat in behind as well. Yeah. So the fullbacks go and flip, and like, where am I going? Yeah, like the
you don't want to leave space, do you? You don't want to leave space.
Petrified. It must be horrible playing against Mbappe. You're going, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like you're literally, I'm thinking, please don't get.
You can't win. You're like, I think he's unplayable.
And I don't mind keeping the ball along the back and things, but it's got to be purpose. It's got to be done quickly, and then there's got to be a trigger, like you said, a winger to roll in, a fullback to bomb up the outside, an interplay, and then they're in. There's got to be something that there wasn't in that USA game for England.
We would speak about like play around in 3, switch around in 2, and that'd be the sort of the vocabulary we'd use on the pitch. And like a lot of the time, you see the fullback will go to his nearest centre half, and when you're trying to sort of play around and you're trying to switch around rather, and you're trying to go from right to left to right in a transition, what ends up happening is he's playing to his nearest centre half instead of missing one out. And I think
quicker.
Just do it quicker, like miss him out. And I saw that quite a few times. Again, I wondered whether is it like keep the ball, keep possession, we're all right with a draw. I'm not saying they would have used those words in the changing room, but just set up like be patient, like don't make mistakes. And it was all very safe, all very rigid. And I just felt like miss him out there, and then that ball will travel faster. And then you might even miss out the fullback to get it into a Sterling. Now Sterling is 1v1. Whereas what was
happening? You've got fullback backing him up as well to make possibly
absolutely,
2v1.
Yeah. So, but what ended up happening was play to your nearest centre half, and that would be Stones, into Maguire. But by that time,
it's easy
the transition for the oppositions from right to left has just been too easy. And that I just thought, and then when you do that, obviously, if I'm Maguire and I'm coming onto my left foot, and my fullback is like run, high. So who would it have been on the left hand? Shaw. So Shaw would have gone high. Then you've got like a Declan Rice coming out and playing like a false fullback. So then all of a sudden the midfielder's got to chase him. Now you are playing through lines. And I just we've got that in our locker. But again, if we play against teams who know and they're going to shut that off and stop that, which I don't think USA were good enough to do. I think they'd have blown up after 70 minutes. That's when we can then go, right, well, we've got a Rashford or a Saka or a Sterling. But we just didn't do it. It didn't play to their strengths. It was like when the ball gets to Sterling, again, he's looking, he's going, am I 1v1 or am I really chopping back inside and playing? Because they've got numbers down the sides and then the midfielder's coming across to help out. And I don't think he ever felt he was in those positions.
I think international football's hard in terms of, especially with this World Cup, they haven't had a lot of time on the training field, have they? But I'm not quite sure as an outsider watching England what they are in terms of, what are they, a possession team? Are they a counter-attacking team? Are they back to front? Do they play for... I think they kind of do everything well.
Do you know what they do?
Nothing.
I said it a minute ago.
Well.
What Gareth Southgate does, I think personally, is I think he plays to the opposition. I think he looks at the opposition and goes, "This is how we're going to play."
And he's been amazing, hasn't he? And he's a class act.
He did it brilliant.
Defensive, and I suppose you just got to accept it. Haven't you? That's the way England are at the moment.
I think they could turn the percentage chance of them winning games into their favour more by being a little bit more on the front foot. We're attacking. We're going to take the game.
Have an identity. Have your own identity, regardless of who you're playing against.
Rather than you're only ever one set piece from winning or losing the game, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, they hit the bar, didn't they? They hit the bar, and you couldn't. Are we then able to face score? Are we able to flip it and then suddenly go right? Let's go. Get the wingers in down the sides.
Let's not wait to go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And I think as well, it's important to say, I thought Harry Maguire was excellent. I know
both games he's done really well.
I know it's sort of, especially the USA games, it plays to his strengths a little bit because obviously there was a lot of set pieces and stuff. But I thought he was excellent. Credit to him.
I thought he was in the Iran game. I thought he was very good on the ball as well. He was the one you said about playing through lines. He would take really on a risky pass, and I think two of the goals come. One was from a header in the box where he knocked it down. But one of the goals, I think his second or third goal, he played through a difficult pass through two or three men to get someone on the half turn, and then it's slide goal.
Which is really we'd always say that's like if you play forward and you give the ball, it's not giving the ball away. That's a calculated risk, isn't it? You're
try and play someone in, isn't it?
If you play sideways or backwards and it gets dispossessed, you're in trouble. The gaffer's going mentally. But if you're trying to play,
and he's doing it in there after, that makes sense. It's not like he's doing it on his own. He's not doing it on his own box.
Yeah, it goes without saying.
When in the tournament, Dave, were you reading all the stuff on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that, and all the messages about? I suppose when you were there, were you aware when you got to the semi-final how the country was feeling? You getting loads of messages.
I think the lads would share. I think social media is a massive thing now. So lads are constantly showing each other videos of fan parks and stuff. What was happening, messages they had. I remember
it was all positive, I suppose.
It was all positive. I remember, for instance, a lad that I kind of messaged me. Someone had dyed their hair blonde like Aaron Rams. He's like, please show Rambo this, and little things like that were going around. But saying then we had our own rooms. You'd be watching Sky Sports News in the rooms and stuff like that. So you were
lapping it all up because it was positive.
Yeah,
whereas
if it was the other way around,
for England, it's they're going to get a little bit of stick, aren't they?
But even Wales now, if you look on the sort of the Twitter and things like that, where TalkSport, Sky Sports News have their accounts and they're talk to Wales fans, it's not that positive anymore. So after losing to Iran, I don't think I'd be going on my phone and looking at a Welsh fan in a bucket hat go mad at the team.
Will they be though? Do you think?
No, I think they're.
Obviously, you got to know, aren't you? You just make sure you just don't type in.
You just don't go
if you're
in,
Ramsey, you don't type in Aaron Ramsey into Twitter.
Nah.
I don't think you go. I don't think you go.
I think as an English player, I imagine, obviously wouldn't know, but I'd imagine they'd just be exasperated with it being so up and down. After Iran, we're going to win the World Cup, and then you play against USA, and it's like Southgate, he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. I just think, as a player,
that happens every tournament of England.
Surely as an English player, you must just be so exasperated that you think, look, even if it's good, I'm not going on. When I was the manager at Telford, I never went on social media. I wouldn't even look when it was going brilliant. Wouldn't look when it wasn't going well.
It's fine when it's going well, isn't it? I suppose, isn't it? It's like that thing, if you they'll say if you've played well, if I played well for Shrewsbury, and I'd buy the paper on Monday to see what mark I got. Yeah. If I had a nightmare and beat something after 55 minutes, I just wouldn't buy the paper. I wouldn't buy it. But someone would always tell you, I say you got 3 in the paper, Easton. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing that with me. I was having an all right day till you just told me that. Why tell me that?
I just got into the habit of like not
shut it
not
down
being
completely.
just shut down because no good comes from it. No good comes from it. You've got to stay focused on what you're doing. Shut out the noise.
Especially in a tournament where it's such a short amount of time.
You can just
shut
go
it
like
off
radio
and, yeah.
silence if things are going bad.
Would you have had advice on that, Dave? Does someone come in at all or have this conversation with you saying, look, obviously it's a tournament, huge occasion?
Not so much with not looking at it, but what you post out.
Oh, okay.
We have that advice.
Oh, did you?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
be
like,
careful what you put.
don't put certain things out.
Don't
and-
put the lads having a beer and all that.
Yeah, and honestly, like little things like that. But then obviously, do you remember the video of when Iceland beat England and all the lads were cheering in the sort of the game that came out,
Iceland beat
coming back
England.
to haunt them
Yeah,
at the
Iceland
moment.
beat England.
Like,
Can you remember that, Gav? Iceland beat England and all the Wales players were all cheering watching the game.
yeah, so
That was
everyone,
right.
yeah, so like, and
That's why I hate Wales.
I remember is that what they were doing?
so there's and it wasn't an anti-English thing. It was like Iceland were the massive underdog, so it's just like
There's a little bit. Yeah, come on, Dave.
And England,
a little bit.
England had obviously just beat Wales as well in the group.
Yeah.
But that obviously that came out through. I think one of the lads put it in our WhatsApp group. Do you know what I mean? As in like the lads WhatsApp group, the Wales lads WhatsApp
Yeah.
group,
So you
put the
think it's
video in,
private?
and then obviously somebody sent
who's done
it
that?
somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's just got
just don't do
then
it.
all of
You've
a
got
sudden.
25 lads, haven't you? You've got 25 lads in the WhatsApp group. One of them's going to send it to another mate,
Yeah.
and then that one mate just sends
That's
it to one more
gold,
mate,
that's gold,
and then
and
it's
it's
like
gone,
because you're
isn't
going to
it?
be so tempted to send that on, aren't you? So it's
And we
always
saw
going
it
to come.
couple-
Once it's in the WhatsApp group, it's always going to come out, isn't it?
Then we saw it a couple of days later. Then obviously it went viral.
Yeah.
So, this looks awful. Do you know what I mean? It's
Did
terrible.
you have a meeting about it or anything? Or did you
We
just
spoke
talk
about it. Yeah, we spoke about it. Kind of said like, obviously, what's happened has happened. Like,
If you're the one who sent it on,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
you'll
oh,
go
Was
it's
it all lads are like that?
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
everyone will be panicking.
Gareth Bale sat there like this going,
Like, if I was Gareth Bale, I'd just say, I sent it on. What are you going to do?
what are you going to do? Yeah,
I'm playing centre forward.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'll send it.
sit down, Paige.
I'll be going, Gareth, you just take the blame, mate. Because if I find out it was me, I'm getting kicked out of the squad here, but you're not, Gareth.
No.
But something like that is all. When that happens, that's always going to come back to haunt you at some point, and
Yeah.
it's happening at the moment. I mean, I see Luke Shaw made a comment about it this morning, saying that's some added motivation for them coming into this game. Obviously, Wales not having a great tournament, so you can get hurt by stuff like that getting out, and they're the sort of meetings we had. Like, don't put something like that shouldn't be out there, even if it's stuff like team news and things like that. So we'll do the work the day before and what the team's going to be and things like that, and they'll be saying just like try not to tell anyone
But it
because
does-
it will get because like
it
I
always
want
does
to tell
come
my
out, doesn't
I
it?
want to tell my mum and dad I'm starting. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then they'll naturally just say tell
Yeah.
brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, and before you know it, it's spread. Like being proud, my mum probably ringing everyone, Dave's starting,
Yeah.
whatever. And
Mum,
Don't tell anyone.
Tell anybody.
why are you ringing the sun?
I'm so proud of you, Dave. I just want everybody to know. Yeah, but it's top secret.
Yeah.
It made me laugh last night when you were saying that you call Emma first and then called your mum when you said you were starting against England. And
Yeah.
It's starting against England, was it? Starting against... What was the
No,
first?
the first game.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, go on. What did your mum and Emma say?
Well,
It made
first,
me laugh.
we
the
spoke,
contrast is brilliant.
we spoke about first of all when I got announced in the squad, didn't I?
Yeah.
And like Emma was saying, my wife, that's like her first reaction was, "Oh shit, 7 weeks, just me and the kids, go full on." That was her first reaction, not amazing. Do you know what I mean? And
Emma, I've been selected for the World Cup squad. Well, it's going to be a nightmare with childcare, that is.
And who's going to load the dishwasher?
yeah. And then when I was starting the first game of the tournament, I rang like Emma excited and she was like, "Oh, brilliant, well done." Like just straight over her head, doesn't understand. Like she's not a football person at all, doesn't understand.
Buzzing for you, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not those.
It's like, Dave, you've started hundreds of games. Like,
Yeah.
what you want about?
Whereas I rang my mum and told her I was starting. She's like, "Oh no, oh no." So what do you mean? She goes, "You can't. Too nervous. No, you can't start.
Don't start.
I'm not going to be able to watch it. I'm not going to be able to watch the game."
Gaffer, can I have a quick word? My mum said I can't start, mate. Sorry.
She was petrified. That was her first thing. Oh no.
Brilliant.
that was
Absolutely
just
love
the-
that. I love that. It's the contrast where we sat again because we went out for food last night, didn't we, with the wives? And we were just saying, like, we're all like, yeah, you know, we've got a new contract or we've been selected for this or whatever. And they're like, yeah, brilliant. But one of the kids hasn't done their homework.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we doing about that?
It's real life, wasn't it? Everybody's got the real life, haven't
So
they?
you
Wait
packing
for
up
it.
your bags to move here, there, and everywhere,
Yeah.
and
Go on,
like
son, that's a
Holly's
great
just
one.
got to go with you.
Oh yeah, that was I left Shrewsbury, didn't I? And I rang Holly and I was like, I think I'm going to sign for Yeovil. Holly's like, where's that? So I was like, get that, have a look on the map, Yeovil, isn't it? I said like Somerset. She's like, right, okay, so I might have to move to Yeovil. I was like, nice part of the world. And I was like, oh no, hold on a minute, I might be going to Darlington Darlington now. Darlington. So this was for about a week with Darlington. So I was like, that'd be good. Go back to Newcastle. I've got a few mates, so she's ringing up them, and I was like, we'll have to find a house in Newcastle. Then I failed a medical. She's like, I failed a medical now. Don't we now? I'm going to go Grimsby. She's like, what's Grimsby like? I went, good fish and chips. She's like, Grimsby. I was like, I was thinking, oh no, I was going to have to just find somewhere nearby. Then at the end, she was like, Grimsby. And I went, oh no, I've had another phone call. I'm saying for Tranmere. She went, what does that mean? Then I said, we can stay where we are. And I was like, thank goodness. But just how ridiculous it is, people don't realise. And this isn't thousands and thousands of pounds as well. You can't, it's not like now where you can just leave a house and buy a house somewhere else.
My one was brilliant with Holly, my wife. We just basically bought the house and just got settled really as a family, getting everything right. And my mate was the assistant manager at Floriana in Malta, and they're allowed 5 foreign players, and they've got this Brazilian lad who's going back to Brazil. Yeah, obviously German or Dutch. And he phoned me. He was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, mate, I think it'd be too much upheaval and all that, but really appreciate it and stuff." And he's sending me things like, "This is the apartment. This is the quayside where you." I was like, "Oh." He's like, "This is how much you'll get tax free." And I was like, "Right, I'm going. I'm 1,000,000%." Sat down with Holly, and she was just she just sat there all quiet, and she just went, "What do you think?" She just didn't say anything. I went, "It's a great opportunity. It's a different." And she just went, "Are you taking the piss?" And I was just like, "Is that a no then?" She was like, what are you talking about? We just bought a house. We just also, and I was like, "Yeah, Pete, sorry, mate. Yeah, I won't be doing that."
Like, oh no, I can come home for 3 days every month. I'll be all right.
Yeah. I'll be back all the time. You won't be, Gavin.
Yeah.
No, I won't be.
Oh, that was it. They said they'd pay for me to come back for 2 days every 4 weeks. She weren't having it. I don't know. Selfish, I thought.
Right, anyway, so let's get on to, this will go out Tuesday. So the England-Wales game's tonight. That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So if you're listening after Tuesday, we might look a little bit stupid with our predictions and things.
England are going to win 7-0.
Go on, let's have a prediction, Dave. I know it's difficult for you to do because head and heart and all that.
Just before we do that, though, listen, because me and Dave spoke last night about, because England-Wales are always difficult games, and I hate playing Wales. Even when we watched Scotland last time.
Won.
But we were talking about when England played Wales last time, Dave, when you played, and we were saying, how on earth England, who are so much better than Wales, how come it becomes a game, or how come England won 2-1 when Wales, and Wales was a better team? But then we looked at England's team. This is England's team in 2016 when they played against Dave in Wales. So you got Joe Hart in goal, right? Listen to this for a back four, absolutely average. Kyle Walker, right back. Cahill, Smalling, Danny Rose. It's not an unbelievable back four, that. Midfield three of Dele Alli, Eric Dyer, and an old Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, playing in midfield. Then you got Lallana, Kane, and Sterling up front. So you think about that England team then, compared to when they played against Wales, and Wales had So Wales, the team would have been Hennessy in goal, back three of Ashley Williams in the middle, James Chester and Ben Davies, all playing in the Premier League, strong Premier League. Neil Taylor playing left wing back, Premier League. Chris Gunter playing right wing back. Joe Ledley, Joe Allen, both playing Premier League at that point, and then Gareth Bale at that point in the top 2 players in the world, possibly. I think, Aaron Ramsey again moving into that sort of elite category of players, and then I think Hal Robson-Kanu played up front.
Robson-Kanu centre forward.
Right old hand for you,
but you think of that. So you've got Ramsey and Bale there, who are probably
they'd walk into that England team.
Gareth Bale better than any of them England players. Yeah. Ramsey would also get in that England team, wouldn't he? Ramsey at that point, better than that England midfield.
Well, you'd say Ben Davies as well. He'd be close, would he?
Yeah, over Danny Rose.
Yeah, over Danny Rose.
So you think about when England played Wales in 2016, there wasn't a huge gap, whereas I think this time there's an unbelievable gap.
You can't compare the 2 England teams, can you?
No, England team now is like ridiculous levels above what that team was.
And
I nearly got called up for that squad.
but Wales now are nowhere near that. They've still got some of them players, but
it was on the bench there compared to that. You think how strong England's bench is now?
England's bench then. Milner, Vardy, Klein, Henderson, Sturridge, Stones, Wilshere, Barkley, Bertrand, Rashford. Whereas look at England's bench now, you think with Foden,
cannot compare.
Grealish. England's squad is 1,000,000 times better, and Wales' team is worse. Ramsey's not the player he was there. Bale's nowhere near the player he was there.
And I don't think the defence is as strong of James Chester, Ashley Williams.
No,
There's not a single Wales player in this squad who's making that England squad.
not that I can think.
You said, who did you say? You said might get in?
I thought Ben Davis might get in.
I don't think you would.
Oh,
Playing
over
all-
Shaw.
I wouldn't say not
not
necessarily
in the
starting. I think
squad.
he'd get in the squad. Left footer, play left back or
I
left,
like him.
or left side of a 3, which he's been playing
Good
under
steady
Conte.
Eddie, isn't he?
Would he-
Hard as nails he is.
I
I
think-
like him.
Would he get in the England squad now, though? I don't think he would
I think
necessarily.
he'd have a
close.
chance. I think
Be
he'd have a
close. Then.
chance.
He's the only one who'd be close. Bale wouldn't get in, wouldn't get a sniff.
Not now.
In MLS. Ramsey wouldn't. So basically, England should smash Wales tonight. But
It's the thing is, and
why doesn't it happen? Like it's happening in the tournaments.
It's
there.
FA Cup syndrome, isn't it? You've got a team that far outplays another team, or sorry, in terms of ability, talent is like miles better than the other team. And it's just that us Wales, it's all right, it'll be Wales. And that's the job for Southgate, isn't it? To make sure that they're mentally prepared to say, look, there's a wave coming, it's going to be a tough game. Whereas really they're going, yeah, they got beat by Iran, we beat them. And subconsciously, no matter what you do, can't dislodge that. But that's Gareth Southgate for me. That's his only thing he's got to be doing is get the players right mentally.
Like man for man, just a million times better, isn't it? That's why I mean, with like when Saka gets it, or Grealish or Foden or whoever plays, I think Foden might play, but get at these players. Like you're a better player than them.
Mate,
Be
you
brave,
know
take
yourself.
them on.
If I always remember years ago when Man United played Burton and it was 0-0.
Mentioned this on the last one. didn't
Yeah, and it's just that mentality of like, you know, you got the England players who, like you rightly say, they're far better than the Welsh players. I mean, it just is the case. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It just is the case. But they will, no matter what you do, they will go in. This should be a win. This will be a win. They'll just take that little bit off, and if Wales can just, they'll go. We've got to play the game of our lives. And sometimes I think that mentality, that's the FA Cup syndrome. That's what.
Rob Page got a hell of a job to
Yeah.
try and get this team to compete with that England team.
Yeah,
like
sure.
massive. He's got to make it uncomfortable for them. He's got to try and make it nervy. Where England's already really qualified, haven't they? So it's.
What do you do, Dave? Do you go legs, or do you play your Bales?
Bale and
'Cause he's
Ramsey are
been-
going to play, aren't they?
I think you've got to be rigid. You have to play hold. You have to play 2 holding midfielders.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to.
Could
You
you
need
like-
bodies
could you
around.
like
If he doesn't do
Ramsey
that, I
pitch.
think it could be cricket score.
Why would you not? Could you not leave Ramsey out?
You could do, definitely, and then
Yeah.
hope then if it goes later in the game you need
Yeah,
and you're
I
still
think that.
0-0.
How would he react to that, Dave?
Not great. No, he's not a bad lad at all. He's a great lad. Aaron is like
Yeah, he's-
top pro. Great lad. But I mean,
You wouldn't expect anybody to react well.
But he would never expect
Yeah.
to not be starting for Wales if he's fit. Same like obviously with Gareth Bale as well.
Just think you need you just get legs, isn't it? And just
I still-
match them physically.
I think
and
legs.
just get
I think
around.
legs. 20 minutes to go. If you're still in the game, they come
Yeah.
on and try and nick something for you.
They need to play holding midfielders. But the big difference, this is why Rob Page is, everyone will look and say, oh, we did well in 2016 against England. It was a close game. Although we didn't play well, England didn't play well that game. We spoke about the difference in the teams, but we knew in that tournament, and against England particularly, just stay in the game.
Yeah.
There'll be a moment where Gareth Bale's got the ball and he can score for us.
Yeah.
And he did. He scored from 35 yards. Joe should have done better the free kick, but he has those moments. And even later in the game, every time he gets it, they're so scared of him.
Yeah.
Whereas now they don't
they
need
won't-
to
they
be. They
won't
can
feel
play a
it.
higher line. They don't have to get worried about people
Yeah.
running behind. Wales haven't really got legs in behind. They've got only Dan James who can run in behind, but he's going to be up against a Kyle Walker or something like that.
He's not scaring them. Whereas, like you said, Dave, didn't you? You knew you had the best player on the pitch. So, like, you're in the tunnel.
Best player
You've
at the
got
tournament,
Gareth Bale, and you're
definitely.
going, Gareth Bale is better than any. Gareth Bale is better than any of these. That filled you with confidence. Whereas now Wales they haven't got that.
And if Gaz doesn't produce, Rambo's in the form of his life, and he can do something. He can pick a pass. He can do something. Do you know what I mean? A bit different.
How did you play on the day, Dave?
I came on and then
Came on.
Yeah.
let
Was it
Sturridge
50?
go for the goal.
50. He came on, lost his mind, lost the game.
Great day out.
Remember that one forever.
Oh, that was horrible. That wasn't it. But we watched Scotland, didn't we, in the Euros, Gav, together, didn't we? And that
Yeah.
was horrible. One, you look at it was the same thing. Looking at that Scotland team, and you're like, you haven't got anyone. Robertson.
They got it right tactically as well, I thought, Scotland, but they were at it. You know what I mean? Like I say, typical FA Cup game. It's England. We've got to play the game of our lives. England were like, yeah, we'll flipping brush these aside, no problem. And then I thought, like you say, they just got it right tactically, didn't they? They played a 3 with wing-back Scotland, and they literally just had an outlet. Every time they got the ball, just outlet.
What we're going for then? Score
Killed
predictions,
us.
Dave. Start us off.
Well, Wales.
Head, not your heart, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I think Wales.
Do head and heart, Dave.
Wales are due a performance, so they've been
Okay.
they've been poor. I think apart from the second half against USA, they've been poor. So I can imagine there being a big reaction from that Iran game. I do think Rob Page knows he has to change how they set up, and I think it'd be tight and cagey. I really do. I know it shouldn't be as you look at it on paper, but I just think if Wales can get through that first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, being horrible to play against, killing the game, It'll end up being about 30 minutes of added on time. You watch the way it's going. But Ty, I can't see Wales winning the game at all. But I just hope they can stay in it just to give themselves a chance later in the game.
So that's
89th minute free kick.
So that's one end of the
1-1. You're going to 1-1.
yeah. So that's one end of the spectrum. Now to go right to the other end of the spectrum, Sam.
England win 2-0.
I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a tough game. I think England just have too much for them. I don't think it'll be a cricket score. I don't think we'll just totally. I think it'll be a tough first 45, 60 minutes, and then I think we'll just have too much.
If England get a goal, then it's going to be ridiculously hard for Wales.
Yeah, early goal is game over, I think.
I hope so. I can just see it being I don't know. I hope it's 2-0 and we're cruising off.
Being English, we hate these games. Horrible.
Absolutely.
Don't.
He's got everything to lose, haven't he? It's like when you get.
I'd rather
when you get
play
drawn
Brazil
in the cup against
than Wales.
Yeah, it's like when you get drawn in the cup against like a non-league team, but because of the rivalry as well, and you just think, we've just got everything to lose, haven't we? If we win 4-0, we come back and Dave's like, oh well, you should be look at your team, look at ours.
Yeah.
If we lose 1-0.
We'll do a podcast on Wednesday.
We'll be retiring the podcast. Won't be coming back.
Are we watching it anyway? Are we just watching it at home?
I thought we said we were going to the stable, weren't we?
Tuesday night.
Get the big screen and all that.
Do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Do that.
Fancy it?
Video it.
Yeah.
I'll get it all set up, ready.
We'll do a little video of it all.
Yeah.
Get all the kids along.
Get the kids, families out.
What time's kick off? 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Make a thing of it. Order some pizzas in or whatever.
I'll order the pizzas. I'm not letting Gav order the pizzas again.
Have some nice margaritas.
I don't want
ready
4
for you.
cheese and tomato with no cheese on.
vegan cheese. I can't stand vegan cheese. Does my head in.
Gluten-free dough.
Right, so what was your score, Gav?
I was going to go 2-0, but now you stole it. I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0 England, 2-0 England. You're going 1-1. What are we putting in? Tenner.
Oh yeah.
What's yours? What's your score prediction? 3-1 England.
Wits won't put a tenner in though. Wits will do it for fun.
Right.
Look at that score on the telly there.
Belgium,
Wow.
nil, Morocco 2.
Wow, that was the other night,
Oh
wasn't
no,
it?
could be Wales. Oh yeah, that was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago, wasn't it?
Good. Be a terrible fallout in Belgium. Right, and quickly, who do you think's going to win it? Before we go, who's going to win it?
Oh, it's very early to say. The Brazilians look good, don't they?
I watched the first half. I didn't think they were, but then the second half they were brilliant. Apparently,
I like France.
I think France.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Some
France.
Mbappe in it. They'd like.
I love him.
I actually think they got
What about
big
Giroud?
players. Big players.
He's cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a bit cool, isn't he? Giroud. He's
But
not,
we're
he's
speaking
not
about
allowed to be.
England. I think England's got the best squad in the tournament.
I agree.
I genuinely think they haven't got an Mbappe.
England are going to win
They
it.
haven't
That's
got
it.
Mbappe, they haven't
England
got
are going to win
Vinicius
it. We've
Junior.
said. Dave just said it.
But look, England have got the best squad.
I think they got the best squad. I genuinely do.
Hey, look at Brazil. Brazil have got Richarlison up front. Well, we were saying they got, was it Danilo there? Like they got
Yeah.
Casemiro and
Rafinha.
that. Are they getting
Rafinha.
Rafinha? Are they getting
Declan Rice
Fred?
plays over Casemiro
I-
all day.
Like how many of them are getting-
Foden plays over Rafinha.
Yeah.
Lads, I'm with you.
Like, you know, everybody's saying about a great Brazil squad. I think England's better. France, I mean,
So we're going to win the World Cup then?
Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant. You heard it here first.
we're going to beat Wales 2-0, cruise through it, win the World Cup.
Yeah,
We'll do a World Cup special on what's it, the 18th?
yeah.
I won't be there.
Oh, Dave's not. Dave's going to be.
Unless Wales get through and get to.
Dave,
Yeah, yeah.
Dave, are you one of them? So when England play anybody else, are you cheering for the other team?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You sure?
So all my mates are English and
Yeah.
it's good. It's good for around here. I said right at the start, as long as it's not at the expense of Wales. So 100% in the group stage, I wanted Wales to.
That makes me feel
Benefit from it.
That makes me feel guilty about wearing my Iran scarf.
Oh, mate, that'd be brilliant if you had a picture of that. So who are we saying? So you're thinking France?
France.
Yeah, I'm going England. I think this is
Oh,
it.
it's a big call, isn't it?
I just
what
think
about
England
your?
win the World
I think he's got a plan. Honestly, I keep looking the other night and I cannot, for the first time, when he's done things, even if I've not agreed, I've gone, yeah, I can see what you're doing there. In this instance, no matter how much you try and dissect it, I think he's stuck to a plan rigidly because I think he's quite disciplined like that. And I just think he's got it all mapped out
Get
for
through
each
the group.
stage.
4-1-0s, 4 Harry
Yeah.
Maguire headers.
Yeah, I'm being very optimistic.
Who
of
will you be cheering for if England play Holland?
Of course, yeah, I don't know actually because
They can play Holland. Can't
the Van
they?
der Cowen thing's kicked off a bit, so I'm
You need
leaning
to milk that a
towards
little bit.
Holland.
You need to
Yeah,
get. You need to get.
What happens if they play Spain?
You can't
no,
do it.
England that one. Yeah, with the Dutch one, I'm enjoying that one.
Germany?
I've been asked about a million times. Well, we were at dinner last night and I was ordering in Spanish. I've only got one
He asked
sentence.
for
I do.
4 Iniestas.
It's the French one. The French one is the all the ex-players. Yeah, je m'appelle Didier Deschamps, Manuel Pétillon.
Lapel Didier Deschamps.
Didier Deschamps, Manuel Pétillon, Maître Platini. That's about it. That's all I've got.
Oh, right then, short one today, isn't it? We've got things to do. Come on, England.
Yes, come on, England.
Come on, Wales.
Good luck, Wales. You'll need it.
Yeah. See you later, everybody. Follow us on Instagram, In The Stiffs.
Yeah, at In The Stiffs on all social media. Email us at inthestiffs@gmail.com.
Quickly as well, like there's still about 20 tickets left, isn't there? And it's got a little when you go to buy them, it's got like a little eye. So is that like restricted view or something?
It's supposed to be restricted view, but because we haven't got a set as such, we're just on the stage. So those, just to let everyone know, those restricted views aren't very restricted. So I can see people, but there's only about 25 tickets left, which is amazing, isn't it?
So they need to get them. So them restricted views, if anybody wants to buy them, they're sound.
Yeah,
it's restricted view, but there's nothing to see.
Yeah,
basically. There you go. There's £27.50 there. Then brilliant.
Yeah, but it's what a response we've had, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing, isn't it? I'm getting a bit nervous now.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? I'm a bit sweaty palms.
I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm worried about that.
Are we not wearing our hoodies, In The Stiffs hoodies? We're going.
Be hot,
I'll be
won't it?
sweating.
Be too hot.
Yeah,
Might
absolutely.
get some t-shirts made up, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're doing a little bit of merchandise on the night, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
And who is it? 2 tons, isn't it? 3 tons.
4 tons.
4 tons.
Now 3 tons from Bishop's Castle
Well,
Brewery.
we've got to make sure that like people can get a beer, because that's going to be annoying if you have to queue for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
to get a beer.
We'll get some
So
more
we'll
info
try
on
and
that.
have
Me and Holly went to theatre in Birmingham the other week, and you can order it when you go in. You buy your pint, and then you order one for the interval, don't you?
They do that at the Theatre 7, I'm sure they do. They
don't
stack
know.
them up on the side, don't they, ready for you to pick up.
Class.
You need that because you don't want to be queuing. People don't want to be queuing and all that for ages.
We want everyone to have a good beer and that.
Yeah, you got to. Anyway, right. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Have a great week. Come on, England.
Come on, England. We're done.
Wales.
In The Stiffs with Budging Motors. Budging Motors are on Stafford Park in Telford and Featherbed Lane in Shrewsbury. For all your car needs, contact Budging now.